Good evening, friends. The market is testing our patience, our faith in the Indian economy, our faith in Indian equity market, and things are becoming challenging on a daily basis. Like today is a classical example. Market was in the green and then given up all the gains. So the biggest question in people's mind is that how do we make the strategy in this market? How much more pain is there in the market? And what I've realized when I look at the data, it doesn't look like a down and out kind of a market. Yes, markets are down, chips are down, mid and small cap has seen a lot of erosion in their value. So what should be a strategy? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to present some data, hard facts in front of you, and then we will open the floor for question and answer. In my presentation, I'm going to discuss about the result season. We just got over. That is, I'm talking about December result. So how India Inc. has performed, not only at the broad level, but more granular manner. Then I'm going to discuss about the mutual fund, what is the cash holding in mutual fund, which are the sectors where mutual fund has highest exposure in terms of the sectoral. Then I'll move to the valuation part of the Indian market because now we are below 400 lakh crore in terms of total market cap as of today. Of course, then I'll talk about what happened to the market, the US and the Indian market and the bitcoins since Trump assuming a office on 20th Jan. एक महीना हो गया उसको, तो what happened? That we'll discuss. And what are the new challenges that has come up for the market? I'm going to discuss that also. And of course, not to forget that FPI, what is happening with FPI and what is the percentage holding they own as of 31st December 2024. So all this data and then of course open floor question and answer. So very quickly, disclaimer, this webinar is just to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Please consult your financial advisor before buying or selling any stock. Past performance is no indicator of future returns, and investment in securities market are subject to market risk. What are the insights now from the India Inc. numbers? Okay. The season is almost over. 7% growth quarter on quarter in terms of net profit and Y-on-Y, 7.6% growth. Is this bad as compared to what we used to achieve historically? The answer is yes, no doubt about it. But when you look at in absolute value, I think data doesn't look very bad. We have seen GST numbers for the month of January, which got declared on 1st of Feb. The numbers were showing growth. So we will need to wait and watch. But it doesn't look very doom and gloom kind of scenario. I was attending 3 days event, which is organized by Kotak Institutional Equity. And when I listened to their management commentary, I think everyone was little more and more gung-ho about, no one talks about gloom and doom kind of a scenario. That's what has happened. So, I think we need to all look forward to the better numbers going forward. But of course, let's look at December. When you look at the consumption did well. Of course, maybe because of the festive season. So quarter on quarter. Why festive season? Because of Diwali, because of New Year, because of Christmas and so on and so forth. Consumption grew by 17.4%. But when I look at Y-on-Y, it shows decline of 2.7%. Even the manufacturing not did so well. So reasonably, I think the services is one sector that's really helping India Inc. to report decent numbers. But if you look at the capital goods, 2.3, but if you look at Y-on-Y, 50%. And agriculture, as one company basically contributed too much growth, but otherwise quarter on quarter also, the number has been good, 9.5, purely because of the monsoon has been good, Kharif was good, Rabi is like to do good, and that's reflecting in the bottom line of this one. When you look at sectoral also, few sectors actually draw the profit. 48% reported quarter-on-quarter growth in terms of percentage of sectors. In terms of this 48% basically accounted for 39% of the India's total market cap. When you look at Y-on-Y, 57% and 62% kind of a stuff. In terms of top line growth, I think many companies, basically many sectors participated in that. So that in that sense, the top line growth has been more broad-based as compared to the net profit. When you look at the companies, I think picture looks a little better. Why? Because 61% of the market cap companies have reported quarter-on-quarter growth, and 72% of the market companies reported Y-on-Y growth. So in terms of sector, data doesn't look very broad-based, but when it comes to company-specific, data doesn't look so disappointing. In other words, it's not that few companies or sectors have driven the growth in the net profit of 7%. Now, normally what one should do, one should always look at the results as another. So TTM sales trailing 12 months. What that means? Trailing 12 months is basically December to last. Let's look at calendar year, and that's the best way to look at Jan to March 2024, April to June 2024, July to September 2005, and October to December 2024. The TTM sales of India Inc. has been 182.4 lakh crore. If you look at the net profit, it has been 16.4 lakh crore. So if you look at the market cap as of today is 399, so almost 4 lakh crore. Let's put it the 400 lakh crore. So price to sales of India Inc. is 2.2, and trailing 12 months PE is 24.4. So in that sense, the valuations are a little rich for the broader market. Okay, when I say broader market, which is complete India Inc., there are more. I think valuations are more rich in terms of mid and small cap as compared to the large cap. And why am I saying so? I'll come to that. If you look at the projected EPS for Nifty 50 for FY 2026, okay, it is expected to be 1,200 rupees. And based on the today's Nifty 50 value, we are trading at 19 times price to earning 1 year forward. Is this rich? The answer is no. If you look at the, okay, let me come back to this only. If you look at the latest, trailing 12 months P, we are at 21.1 versus 24.3 10-year average. So while the broader market looks 24 times, we are at this. If you look at the BSE 500, which consists of some mid and small, is 23 times against the 10-year average of 25.7. So in other words, I think we are right now trading below the 10 years average. So that's a good thing. So what I wish to convey here very loud and clear, the large cap looks little better valuations compared to mid and small cap, and hence do expect some amount of further float to come off from the mid and small cap. That doesn't mean that each and every mid and small cap are going to go down. There will be some companies which will buck the trend, but overall there is still a froth in the mid and small cap. Very quickly, based on if you look at the net profit to GDP, that's what the one data which normally analysts also look at it, we are at 5.06. We have seen that numbers even at 7%. So have we picked in terms of net profit to GDP data? The answer is clearly no. And I have taken FY 2025 GDP projections. So of course, we will have March coming in numbers, so these numbers will get further revised. But right now we are at 5%, which does not give an impression that we have picked that cycle of net profit to GDP. And if you look at the market cap to GDP, now we are at 115%, which once had gone to 150. So we are still above what we call the long-term average, which is near about 85%. Now the debate where one has to really have, and both the side could have a valid argument, is that should we look at the historical average and compare the new dynamics of the today's world, or we said, you look at the historically and it's above. So if you look at the historically, average has been 85%, but if you look at last 4-5 years, we have always been commanding more than 100. Now we are at 115. So according to me, it has become reasonable. But having said that, don't expect market to start going up from tomorrow. we could see more pain happening to that 400 lakh crore. Why? Because there are frauds in some of the mid and small cap companies, and which would basically make market little volatile and little subdued. Coming to the mutual fund, what happened? And every time you keep people asking me, so the mutual fund data normally comes by 11th to 12th. The mutual fund, while they invested that 40 lakh crore that came to their kitty in the month of January, they invested. But the cash holding that they have not deployed. So in fact, it's marginally gone up. So it is at 1.98 lakh crore. So a lot of people, and including me, I assumed that they would have used the dip in the market to put more money, but they have not done it. But of course, it's not substantially. So if you were to look at this way, 40 lakh crore has been invested by mutual fund in a calendar year in the month of January. Why? Because that whatever has come, the new fresh inflow that has come, they've invested, but the old they've not invested. They continue to remain near about 2 lakh crore. So if you look at 2 lakh crore cash held holding versus 400 lakh crore of the India's market cap. So in other words, 5% of India's market cap has been basically, is that 5%? No, sorry. 5% would be 20 lakh crore. So 0.5% of India's market cap is remain with the mutual fund. All 400 lakh crore, almost 50% would be promoters. Am I right? So that the free float is only 200 lakh crore. Within 200 lakh crore, 2 lakh crore is still pending to be invested by the mutual fund, which is 1% of total free float to be invested by the mutual fund. As we keep progressing, I think this number, which has been increasing since Jan 2024, we will see this number start coming down. The one thing which a lot of people said, if the budget was good, why market is not going up? Why we don't see data improvement? I think a lot of data improvement we'll see post-April. Why? Because the budget ka jo 1 lakh crore that tax rebate has been given is still not kicked in the real life. It's just an announcement. People will see their numbers, the salary coming in the month of May would have been function of the new tax regime. New tax regime, not 12 lakh note income tax will come into play. In other words, they will see their take home increasing. As per one survey, India Inc. would give about 9% salary hike in FY 2026. So two things will happen. One is that actual salary will go up, and because of lesser tax pay, the take home will further increase. And that will start reflecting in the month of May or June, and we will see that happening in terms of consumption, that we'll see happening in terms of GST collection and so on and so forth. That will happen. Now people have a two choice. Either they spend money or they save money. Someone said 40% they will spend and 60% they will save. I believe 50-50. So, when with rate of interest coming down, we might say consumption happening in consumer durable goods. We might see improvement in the auto. Those who basically things got bought, people buy based on EMI. And also including some to the real estate also. Why? Because your ability to pay higher EMIs goes up. Previously, if you could afford 25,000, I'm just give an example, post-tax cut, the tax rebate, it could be 27,500. So in other words, either you go for higher loan eligibility or bigger ticket size kind of a flat. So that would happen. So this is what basically is happening. So that would happen. Whereas the mutual fund is invested, the exposure is highest in banks, followed by IT, and then IT and auto ancillary, pharma, financial services and insurance, and consumer goods. And these are top 10 sectors. This for as of Jan 2000. If you look at total of this, I think 11 plus 12, 11, 28, 28 plus 18, 46, 46 plus 16, 62, 62 plus 11, 73, 73 plus 7, 80, near about 80% are invested in these top 10 sectors. So where is mutual fund is investing? these are the most probably the sector they are going to invest in, the money that comes in. That's just for information, nothing to read too much into that. There are a couple of things which are happening, which is positive, but market is not taken a note of it. And for rightly so, because there is a tariff war and so on and so forth. The crude, which was $80, this was Indian basket. $80 per $80.2 in the month of January is till now in February is come down to 77.6 side. The last February we were at 89, which came down to 82. Look at the data. So somewhere dollar, of course, we did see some jump here happening to 73 to 80, which was a very sharp spike. But overall, I think the trajectory seems to be more downward trend, bearing what we saw in the month of January. If you look at rupee has appreciated in the recent past. So we did see rupee going up to 87.6. And from that level, we have come down to, now improved to 86.6. And if you look at the rupee in 2025, despite that volatility, has depreciated by only 1.2%. So it's not that rupee has basically, so to some strength has come after touching 87.6, we are at 86.6 kind of a stuff. So some strength has come, whether this trend continues or not, we need to wait and watch. But there has been some strength that has happened. Of course, market has not taken a cognizance of this. FPI, one reason why rupee has seen some amount of pressure, because FPI has been on a selling spree. Till February, 23,710 crore. Now, there is a high probability, if you remember, I predicted that in the month of Feb, FPI would be the net buyers. Now, that to happen in next 5 days, and on which Wednesday is the bank holiday because of Mahashivratri. In 4 days, FPI has to buy 23,000 crore, which looks a little unlikely. So most probably my prediction, which I was talking about, that FPI would be net buyers in Feb 2025 doesn't look like looking to happen. But I would not be surprised if this become net buyer in the last week of Feb. That's what my belief and my judgment is. But unlikely to happen that, so I'll go wrong there in that prediction that FPI would be net buyers in Feb 2025. If you look at because of constant selling happening by the FPI, what are they holding of India Inc? Their stake has come down to below 17. And this will be further to 16.7 as of December 2024. And they have sold near about more than 1 lakh crore. So this number will further go down to 16.7, will further come down if you have to take data as of today. But the data is not available in the public domain, so I will not be able to talk about it. But that's it, that is basically it has taken. So from 18.2, which was there in Q3 of FY 2024, which is nothing but the December 2024, it came down to 16.7. So almost 1.5% decline. That India, the FPI has reduced the stake in India Inc. holding by 1.5%. That's what has happened. Very quickly, market was mixed this week. There was some kind of a bounce back, especially mid and small cap, 1.62, mid cap, small cap, 0.9. Doesn't look like it getting sustained. Why? Because we do believe there is a froth in the mid and small cap, so you see it. Sensex and Nifty basically declined marginally. Okay, the auto was the worst, followed by the pharma and FMCG and so on and so forth. For the 2025 YTD, the Nifty and Sensex are. So, when you look at the large cap, the pain doesn't look so severe. Why? Because they are only way down by 3.5%, 4%. But when you look at the mid and small cap, 13.6 and 16.9. At one point of time, small cap index was down by 20% YTD. To that extent, it has recovered some lost ground. But doesn't look like that they will see further strength going forward. Trump assumed office on 28th Jan. So what happened to the Nasdaq and S&P 1? They both are in the green. The Nifty 50 is down by 2.4%. The Bitcoin, which was supposed to go up, of course it did cross more than $1 lakh per Bitcoin, is now below this, but it's down by 3.2. In India's BSE fund is down by 5.1. This is what the damage has been done by after Trump assuming purely because of tariff war. I think what is basically creating more. So there are many measures which Trump has announced. deporting near about 50-60,000 people till now from the various countries, illegal immigrants, announcing that Ukraine should end the war and so on and so forth. US aid has been this one, but I think the big factor that market is basically worried about the tariff war. So there are two risk factors that I'll be looking at very closely. And I think in the month of March, we will see some will come in April and so on. So because I think he said April is the month where he said a lot of things will happen. So we need to wait and watch. I think market will remain little jittery till April. That is 1 month and maybe another 10-15 days more. There's one more thing which has happened, which I've never discussed before. Today, the inflation data came of Japan. And that inflation has gone up further. If you remember, we were discussing about yen carry trade. There are two things which are happening. So I'll be very watchful of this data. So there is nothing to right now worry as such, but we need to keep a close watch on that. The yen is appreciating against the dollar, which was 160, has come down to 150, appreciated to 150. So in other words, previously you needed 160 yen to buy $1. Now you need lesser amount of yen, that is 150 yen to buy $1. So yen has appreciated against the dollar. That's point number one. The differential, the inflation has gone up, so most probably Bank of Japan may basically hike the rate of interest. Now due to that, so what has happened, a lot of people borrowed in yen and invested in the US treasury bond. Of course, they invested in other emerging markets also. It's not that. Why? Because the rate of interest was very, very low in the Japan. Number one. Number two, the yen used to normally depreciate against the dollar. So two benefits. You are borrowing from a low rate of interest in a currency which is going to depreciate against the dollar. So when you repay that, you also get the benefit of depreciated yen and the differential between the US and the Japanese bond yield. If the US, if the Bank of Japan hiked the rate of interest, which it did last month, and it further does it because of inflation going up, it could create a pressure. I don't have the data readily available with me. What is the yen carry trade outstanding amount is? But that could create a pressure on the global markets and including the Indian market. So these are the two factors I'll be keep close watch on. One, what the news coming or the noise coming from the US. And second thing, Bank of Japan, how it's going to look at the rate hikes in the future. So these are the two trends. But the question comes to your mind that करने का क्या? I personally believe there will be a downside. I agree with you. There will be further downside. I don't know whether that downside would be if you buy a company, the company can whether go down by 5%, 10%, 20%. What I am doing mentally is that I am buying a company, assume that it can go down further by 20%. I will not be able to time the market to the perfection or the script to the company to this perfection. तो आई एम मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड कि मैं 100 रुपये का चीज़ ले रहा हूँ, शायद 80 रुपया हो सकता है, शायद ना भी हो. So what I am doing basically, I am buying, if I have to invest 10 lakhs in one company, what I am doing, I may be investing 2.5 lakhs or 5 lakhs depending on the company. If further go down, I'll buy more of that. But I am increasing allocation to the equity market. I am not going out of the equity market. For some reason you said I don't have the money with me. Not to worry. Don't take any actions out of panic. Remain calm and compose. in next couple of, that's by May or something, I think people will see the benefits of budget kicking in. Even rate of interest will get passed on. The benefits will start kicking in, and we will see that better. And by that time, even the March numbers will have started coming in. GST numbers would have come in, and so on and so forth. So I think that's what we will see. And we'll also see the capex, which Government of India could not do it in FY 2025. I think they will start to do front ending, and they will start spending. The benefit of that will start coming in. So buy more. If you don't have money, remain calm and composed, but don't get out in panic, as long as the story of that company remains strong. So that's what my advice to all of you. Mentally be prepared. The next couple of months may remain volatile. So once your expectations are set, then you don't react very negatively. But if you think market is going to go up and go down, you react very in a different manner. But if you accept the fact that market will further go down, then it's okay. Now if it doesn't go up, then it doesn't go down, then it's a bonus for us. But it does go down, you are mentally prepared, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Am I right? That's what you should be doing it. Let's open the floor. Jay Prakash sir, what the key factors are currently driving the stock market, sir? Two things. Till yesterday, only tariff. Today, I think what would Bank of Japan would do, because the inflation today which came out is little elevated level. So will Bank of Japan hike the rate of interest? That's the one market will keep watching closely. How do you see Nifty and Bank Nifty performing next quarter? I don't know, sir, how Bank Nifty and Bank Nifty will perform in next quarter, but I do believe that Bank Nifty should outperform Nifty in 2025. So if you expand the time horizon, I think both would be in a close in the green zone as compared to the close of 2024. Anil, is this the good time to add money to my existing aggressive model portfolio? Answer is yes. I am looking at adding 10 lakhs. Do I do it in one go or stagger the addition in two tranches? Kindly guide. Sir, do it 5 lakhs each. That's what my advice would be. Do 5 lakhs now, do 5 lakhs next month. Why Murai Organizer has been suspended from trading? I have invested 20,000 in the stock. Sir, I don't know which company is this. I am hearing the name of the company first time. Why it has been said, they would have given the reason. To go to BSE India, it would have given the reason. So normally I don't pick up companies, but since you asked this company, I'm just basically, because even I want to know why it has been, because I've never heard this company. Most likely this would be a micro cap or small cap. Murai Organizer Limited, okay. सर कभी नाम ही नहीं सुना. आप लोग मुझे ज्ञान देते रहते हो. The market cap is 163 crores. सर आप लोग कौन सी कंपनी में डालते हो? I don't understand what you do actually. Is it suspended? I don't know. No chart on this. Okay. Trading restricted on account of GSM. I think it's a GSM stage 4 पे है company, so that's why it has been suspended, sir. Okay. But sir, ऐसी कंपनी में क्यों डालते हो? Why do you basically put money into company like this? I don't understand. Why you want to go for why did you buy? First you know what this company manufacture. हाँ, आपको ये भी नहीं मालूम है कि वो कंपनी क्या करती है. Okay, पर हमने उसको ले लिया. And you know this company CFO has resigned yesterday. Are you aware about that also? So don't waste your time in this one. अभी जब भी वो listing हो जाए, उसका आप basically if you get an opportunity, get out of that company. Ashok sir, and my request to all of you is that be careful when you invest in this kind of a company. I don't know why it has been suspended, because it says trading restricted on account of GSM, and GSM stage 4 पे है. But why it has been suspended, I have no idea, sir, to be very honest with you, and I don't look at this kind of a company. Vishal, for every valuation basis of 100 sensor companies compared to last 20 years, can you break the data by sectors to evaluate what sectors are still ahead of the fundamental in terms of valuation, which are the good value buys? Good suggestion, Vishal sir. Just मुझे forward कर दो. Most probably we'll try to answer that maybe in the next presentation. ठीक है? Abu Bakar sir is saying all FM stocks are under sell Mojo score, so how can we buy, Sunil ji? So don't buy. Very simple. Wait for this any FMCG companies to become a buy in our as per the Mojo score. Okay, and as and when it becomes a Mojo buy, that time you can buy. You do not have to basically don't be in a rush to buy that, but eventually they will become. That much I can tell you, because I do believe that these companies are trading at a good valuation, so they will become. Don't expect great numbers to even for the March quarter for the FMCG companies. But that what I told you, the tax benefit will kick in, and that will make these companies, maybe buy. So wait for some time because technical indicators are bad, numbers are not so great, and due to that, the many of these our FMCG companies may be a sell. But will they remain sell for a longer period of time? The answer is no. So don't rush into buy, but eventually it will become a buy as per our MarketsMojo score, and at that point of time you should buy that company. So let me see Nestle क्या है उसका, एक मिनट. I'm just looking at it now. तो Nestle का है स्कोर, सॉरी 36 है, तो अगेन इट्स ए सेल. आई एम लुकिंग एट ब्रिटानिया 44, यू आर राइट, सेल है. डाबर देखते हैं. Dabur is also, I think, it's coming up. So you're right. To wait for that till such time it doesn't become a buy. Please don't buy. Don't go in a rush to buy that. Okay. Let me see last one, Colgate Palmolive, and then basically. But as I said, 2025 looks to be a year for. So it's not necessary that it has to move in a linear fashion. Maybe in the second half you will see more returns, which will compensate for the first half this one. So you're right, most of the FMCG companies are in a sell. You're right, absolutely right. Wait for it to turn a buy, and then only you should buy. Mohit said, future of agrochemical industry in Trump regime. I don't see much of a impact because of Trump regime in agrochemical sector, because that will be more domestic play, because India, the monsoon has been good last year. Kharif production is good. What we call Rabi crop is likely to be good. I don't think that prediction for this year monsoon has come, but likely to be good because there is no El Nino impact. So if the monsoon is good, even agrochemical industry should do well. So I don't see any reason why we should be little worried about Trump regime with the agrochemical. I think the overall it's more like a domestic play than the US play. Nothing to worry at all, actually. And I'm not very sure how much export India does to the agrochemical industry does to the export to the US. If at all it will be there, it would be very minuscule. I don't know. We are the biggest exporter of agrochemical to the US. Just let me Google search now, since you have asked me. I love this kind of question because it also forces me to think little this one. India's exports is 5.5 billion, so it's not a small number. It is a big number, okay. And if you look at it, came down. It was 5.54 billion in 2023, 22-23. It came down to 4.19 billion. So mota, yes, it's not a small number, it's a big number, India exports, and I don't know which Indian companies basically is the biggest exporter from India to the US. So I'm little not updated so much actually. But yes, if there is a regime and if these numbers, those who are exporting will get impacted. But my sense is that mota agrochemical is more of a domestic play than the international. I'll give you that answer very correctly. Maybe in my next webinar. मुझे वापस ये भी forward कर देना. I'll come back to this. Okay. Suresh sir, MarketsMojo is doing their best to boost the morale of investors through various webinars. However, as we realize in reality, there is a lot of frequent churn in both PMS and model portals. Some of the stocks are turning red from green within 1 month. One of the stock turned from strong buy to hold in 1 day. Is your IP not able to capture stable stocks in the volatile market? So Suresh sir, let me give the last part of your question very clear cut. Sir, we tend to become, if one stock has become strong buy to hold, we come to conclusion that all 4,000 companies में ऐसा हो रहा है. Why do we give too much what we call importance to one exceptional thing? हुआ एक कंपनी में, I agree which company you are referring to. I know the name of the company also, Vedanta. But does it happen in each and every company that we need to come to a generalized the statement? The answer is no. And during volatile time, yes, the score can fluctuate because it's also a function of technicals and the valuations. CFT happens, change happens only once in quarter. Valuation doesn't change so frequently, but our valuations and the technicals can undergo change based on the market dynamics. So one company has happened, that doesn't mean that our IP is not stable. Two little hearts to make this statement. Okay, you are saying MarketsMojo is doing their best to boost morale of the investors to various webinars. Suresh sir, when we come in front of you, our job is to present facts and figures in front of you. Our job is to guide you in the right direction. I did mention there is still a froth in the mid and small cap. Our job is to guide you in a data-backed research. So we are not trying to boost morale just for the sake of boosting morale. We are saying what we see, how we see, we are coming in front of you and telling you. We may go wrong. Like for example, I did mention I was expecting FPI to be net positive in February 2025. They are not likely to be. I admitted that. We straight look at the data and we come in front of it and tell this is what we read the data. I did mention two factors to watch out. The Trump tariff war and second thing today Japan inflation data coming in, which could create a yen carry trade problem. So our job is not to boost your morale or everyone's morale. Our job is to guide you or tell you what we see or how we see the market. We did mention in 2025 beginning only. Don't expect money to be made in 2025 as everyone made in 2023, 2024. We stated obvious things. So I hope you get it. And as far as churn is concerned in PMS and motor floaters, it will happen when the markets are volatile, our churn would be high. It should not come as a surprise to anyone. We have stated many times, when the markets are stable, you don't see too much churn in the portfolio. So that's how it will happen, sir. I hope I've answered each and every part of your question. In case if I missed out, Suresh sir, please put it again and I'll take it up. Arjun sir, thanks for your knowledge and support regularly towards our members. Hope everyone is expected the better in Mojo PMS compared to Mojo Infinite as per the regular webinars. We are ready to accept that market losses and reap the benefit next 3 years. With all the due respect to you, I have small doubt why Mojo PMS and Mojo stock is IP is not predicted the negative results and downward trend in market to switch to best stocks in critical time. So Arjun sir, what you are saying is an ideal life scenario. That we should be, so it's not that we were not expecting market to correct mid and small cap. Go back to our webinars, go back to our suggestion or our blogs. March and April 2024, we were expecting mid and small cap to correct. Market look values a little frothy, but market is own logic. Am I right? So if everyone knows for sure this is what's going to happen, then you are really becoming next to God. Am I right? So yes, our IP did not basically could see that this is what is going to happen. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to. It will happen. Able to see in the future also. What our IP does is that based on the current parameters, it's try to select the company. It doesn't have any view on the economy, doesn't have a view on the sector, and try to see whether these companies can outperform going forward or not. That's what our IP does. Our IP has no knowledge of our economy. Our IP has no knowledge of the sector also. But it does have a knowledge of the company, and it tries to select the best company based on the parameters which we have defined. Sometimes it doesn't perform the way IP thought it will perform. Sachin Tendulkar also got out in zero many times, am I right? And so is the case with Rohit Sharma, and so is the case with Virat Kohli. And many times Bumrah has gone for 6 also. So idea is that there cannot be 100%, but what we believe and what we are very confident that in a block of 3 years, Arjun sir, our IP would have guided so well that we'll be able to create a lot of wealth for our investors. I remember in very loud and clear, the same question mark on our IP at that time in the model portfolio. Lot of people, you have created model portfolio in August and September 2021. And by the time we came to Feb and March 2022, lot of investors created you and cry, "Arey, tumhara IP chalta nahi hai, we are not making money," so on and so forth. But look at what happened to the August and September 2024 of the same portfolio. I'm talking about model portfolio. Create a huge amount of wealth. So somewhere we need to learn the art of the trick, art of the life is, fact of the life is that returns would be non-linear. Not only from the market, even from our PMS and model portfolio, because we are also function of market. Yesterday, with our PMS investors, I've shown some of the India's prominent fund investors how much wealth they've seen their own portfolio. Now, ideally, they should have actually, they are so smart, they should have got out of the market. And some of the investors have seen 25% decline. You should look at this, I think, Wednesday Economic Times that got published, how big investors in the country lost money in this market. Logically, they should have been getting out because they are so expert in the market. They've created so much wealth for themselves. So they should have been able to see the fall and they should be able to get out of the market. But sir, market ऐसे नहीं चलता, life ऐसे नहीं होती है. So that's why we said, have patience and discipline, sir. Control our emotions. We tend to basically get too much carried away by the recency bias. What happened in the recent past, we get little emotional about that. So my request is that, sir, since you want to reap the benefits, what we are saying 3 years. हम कोई ज़्यादा टाइम भी नहीं मांग रहे आपके. आपकी जो इन्वेस्टमेंट स्पैन जो है आपका 30-40 साल का, हम तो सिर्फ बोलते 3 साल का टाइम दे दीजिए ना. और फिर you will see the benefit of that IP, basically reaping the benefits of that. No fund manager, no strategy in the world can consistently keep creating money. There will be someone which is more of an exception than the rule. But over a longer period of time, you need to understand whether the strategy has created wealth for you or not. And we are very sure our IP would be able to do that, sir. So, IP is no guarantee that it will always be successful in all market cycles. There will be a period where IP will not perform. There will be a period where IP will perform significantly well. But when you combine non-performing and performing well, overall net result would be very, very positive. I hope I have answered your question, Arjun, sir. Suresh Joshua, sir, do you one webinar subject or Trump effect on Indian stock sector and how to mitigate the effects? Why do we need to do webinar? I'll give you the answer today only. This Trump factor looks like more like is to till April. If I again have to come in front of in Feb 2025-26, you will also not ask me about the Trump tariff. So I think it's more of a buy and getting people on the discussion table. Right now, I'm saying very simple thing. How to play Trump, very simple, which I think I've stated I said in yesterday's webinar or some of the previous webinar with you people. focus on the domestic driven companies. Which are our top three sectors for 2025? Private banks. Will there be any impact of Trump tariff on the private sector banks in India? Answer is no. FMCG. Will there be any impact of tariff on the Indian FMCG companies? Answer is no. What is the third sector we have said? Capital goods infra. Will there be an impact of Trump tariff on the capital goods and infra? The answer is no. So Suresh sir, I'm giving you the answer now. We don't have to do exclusive webinar for that because we know what has happened. In fact, before coming for this webinar, I was reading a very interesting article which says that what Trump basically promised and what actually been delivered till now in 1 month or so. Only one thing which has been tick, and that is what? What we call that, those who have been got charged for that capital rights in January 2020, they've been given, they've been taken away that charge from them. They've been released from that the charge. That's the only one thing which has been tick. He talk about millions of people being deported. Only 40,000-50,000 people have been deported, if my memory serves me right, not more than that. Has he imposed 60% tariff on the China? The answer is no. Has he put tariff on the Mexico and Canada? The answer is no. Am I right? So there are many things which basically he has said has actually not play out the way it should play out. So we need to wait and watch. So I think today, unfortunately, everyone is giving too much importance to that. Unfortunately, I am not giving any importance, to be very frank with you. Why? Yes, it will disturb, but eventually he also understands that higher tariff is counterproductive. And that's why I really like that movie, Guru movie. Everyone should watch that movie, which is supposed to be made on the life of Dhirubhai Ambani. And in that movie, there was a one dialogue which Abhishek Bachchan has said time and again, कि कभी-कभी in the process to gain short term का मुनाफे के लिए कभी long term का नुकसान नहीं सहना है, and vice versa. So I think somewhere he's basically, if you ask me very frankly, he's acting to some extent is foolishly also. He's unnecessarily creating, because he sometimes, like when you become too much aggressive beyond a point, people will say, boss, जो करना है कर लेने क्या फर्क पड़ा? Is it going to be good for the US economy? That's, I think one basic, he has 4 years only. You put tariff, or you want people to come and set up factories in US. Is it going to happen? It's वो थोड़ी है switch on switch off थोड़ी है button आपका कि आपने अभी बोल दिया और हो गया. Someone has to put up factories. That factory will take some time to put up, and so on and so forth. I think it's a little long-term process. In the interim, what would happen? Your inflation will go a little haywire. On one hand, you basically criticize Powell. But he did the right thing by hiking the rate of interest, right? Because your inflation is moving up. So I think somewhere we need to really understand that the Trump effect, I think it's too much hype. How much is able to deliver on that hype, I think we need to wait and watch. I'm not too much concerned about it. And hence I'm very confident that in Feb 2026, people will not ask me this question also. That Trump tariff का क्या होना चाहिए? Because people would basically take it in the stride. जो कुछ होना है हो गया होगा. Things. So let's not focus too much on the short term. The moment you expand your time horizon in 1 year period, at least, of course, normally when I said long term is 3 years, but even if you look at 1 year, I think this will be a no impact factor for the market. Many people are asking, okay, dear Sunilji, most of the SWs are sell, strong sell. Should I continue to average them or just hold them to exit them? Please suggest. This is my personal opinion. It could vary from Mohit's opinion. It could vary with Jason's opinion. When I look at the stock of the week, the list of companies there, they're all good quality companies. Is there a change in the fundamental story of that company? The answer is no. So please continue to hold them. Since if they are sell and strong sell, I am not recommending buy to them, to be very honest with you. Why? Because this stock of the week, even though they are sell or strong sell on a side, it has been monitored by our investment committee. At an appropriate time, they will come in front of you and will tell you what needs to be done with those companies. I think 4 or 5 stock of the week has been closed also with profit since we started. Please, please, please do not panic. Wait for our instruction when to exit from the app. Should you buy more? Right now, I'm not saying if they are sell and strong sell because then we are going against the IP. So that's why I'm not asking you to buy. They are good quality companies. Straight, I'm not asking because they are strong sell and strong sell. But please continue to hold them. We will tell you when to exit from those companies. It's our responsibility, it's our duty. Bharat sir is saying, is any idea about gold? It keeps increasing every week. Will this trend follow? So, again, sir, my only request to all of you is that, gold is a commodity. And commodity is a function of demand and supply. Am I right? So, my request to all of you is that very simple. We do believe gold will see another year of a capital appreciation. And we are very certain that this will happen. It has happened in 2024 also. It will happen in 2025 also. So my request to all of you, please continue to hold gold. Now your question is that what should you do? The gold should always be 10 to 15% of your total assets allocation. Because our view on the gold is good or bad, so do you increase or decrease? That's not the right way you should do it. So I'll tell you what we have predicted for gold in 2025. Okay, is my screen visible? Okay. We have stated very loud and clear in our Equity Outlook 2024. Gold is likely to extend the rally even in 2025. But returns that we saw in 2024 of 27.2% may not mimic. So, we are constructively positive on gold in 2025. But do not expect 27% return that we saw in 2024 to get repeated in 2025. So, that's what we have stated, and we continue to believe that 2025 gold should give positive returns to the investors. Yes. Surya, for the past 1+ year, it looks like most of your predictions went wrong. How can a layman take lessons from this? Sir, if my prediction has gone in last 1 year, there is no, then only lesson you should do exactly opposite of what I am saying. Because if I am saying something has gone, so if I am saying this will happen and this is not going to happen, you take benefit of that. Ulse ulta kar lo aap. Am I right? So that's the way you can look at it. That's the way I would suggest you to do that. I don't think most of the predictions have gone wrong. Yes, there have been predictions which has gone wrong. But if you have compiled that list, please share with me. Even it will be eye-opener for me that most of our predictions went wrong. In 2024, did we not say that gold and silver will do well? It did well in 2024. Did we not say that pharma will do well as a sector in 2024? It did well. Am I right? Did we not say that FPI inflow in 2024 will be muted? It was muted. In 2020, we received a record this one. Did we not say that crude oil price, average crude oil price in 2024 would be lower than 2023? It did happen. Am I right? Did we not predict that Fed FOMC will do 100 bips rate cut in 2024? That is a full year which has just gone. It did 100% bips rate cut. Did we not say that China economy likely to grow at 4.7% in 2024? It did happen this way. Did we not make statement that capital goods and infra should do well in 2024? If you look at the returns, it made 40 to 43% return. Did we not say that railway and defense will make money for investors in 2024? It did make money, defense and railway, despite in this last quarter of 2024, they did not perform well. Did we not say that in October 2024 or September 2024, from this point, the defense and railway company doesn't make sense to invest? It did. So, sir, please, I'm giving you the list of prediction where I have gone right. Same way, please say a list of prediction where I've gone wrong. Of course, I do believe, I do admit I've gone wrong many times. But I think if you look at the success and the failures in terms of prediction, I think there will be more success than the failures. I'm open to your response to that. Then what you present to me is right, I will accept and I'll accept your observation that you were right, that I went more wrong than I went right. Is this the good time to ask Rinku Sunny Singh, can improvement? So is it good time to invest in China? See, there's a few things which are happening positive. Very recently, the tech companies, CEOs, which were basically not having very good relations with the Chinese government, there was a meeting which took place. So that's one positive indicator. FPI inflow to the Chinese market is increased, so that's another positive. I think we're still not very sure whether Chinese economy is likely to sustain growth. The one big factor is a tariff war. There could be a strong possibility, I'm saying, that Trump may single out China in terms of punishing with the tariff. Now, if that happens, then what happens to the Chinese economy? So this is something where we still don't have a handle on. We still need to wait and watch what exactly Trump does it. So is it a good time to invest? Coming back to your basic question, Rinku sir, is it a good time to invest in China? My answer is no. Still we don't have a clarity. I think I would rather prefer to get the clarity and then invest, because Chinese data is a concern. What exactly happening in the Chinese market is very difficult to get a handle on. And still we don't know what is happening in the tariff between the tariff war between US and China. I wouldn't be comfortable putting money. उन्होंने बताया कि where I have gone wrong. जब बताया तो मुझे बताना please. Good evening, Benson sir is saying, good evening, FIs are selling from August or September, all 5 days this week they will sell us, even today say 3,500 crore. In this scenario, why do you say suddenly the trend will reverse and they will be buyers from next Monday? So there are a couple of reasons, I believe. So whether that happens Monday or not, that's my assumption. Not in fact, I admit that I was saying that in fact they will turn net buyers, they're not. The valuations are not as expressive what it looks like. The rupee was depreciating, so that's another reason FPI was a little jittery. Now rupee has started becoming more. Number 3, when you look at the color of that FPI, it's more of an ETF money which has been seller. A lot of India-dated funds are also seller. I assume that some senses should prevail with them. Why I'm saying so? One is the valuation, rupee stabilizing, crude which is now started softening, which is in our favor, government reforms, And these are the things which makes me believe that FPI should turn positive. Now, they may not turn positive from next Monday, that is coming Monday, but eventually they will become positive. So, and what is the kind of selling is unprecedented. You are right, sir. They have been sellers since October, and they've sold very heavily. How much they can sell from this level? That's what I'm trying to figure it out, because whatever froth was there, they've actually sold. So, यहाँ से probability of selling more is little low. That's what the limited point I wanted to convey. That's why I'm saying they will be, the fag end of sellers. That's why I believe that they should logically turn buyers, net buyers in the equity market. I know it's almost 8:06. So last three questions. Amir is asking how many more questions. Last three questions. बहुत लंबा सवाल. Sunil ji, it is a clear case of money moving out of Indian market, moving to China. Hong Kong index is up 17% last one. FF has done a blunder by increasing LTCG and TCG, resulting into higher direct tax collection and all ongoing selling. Our government has still made the Indian market unattractive, whereas the China is reviving its economy and boosting business. Whereas we are trying to extend freebies to Tesla now and ignoring the domestic industry just to please Trump and Musk. So, sir, I don't think you have asked me a question. You have actually expressed an opinion. Okay. So, thanks for your opinion, sir. I don't know if you look at FPI outflow, it's only not in India. I think there is a outflow from the other emerging markets also and going to the developed market. Is it pertaining to only India? I don't know. But I do agree with your statement that somewhere increasing LTCG and STCG without giving relief on STT is not something which appreciable. Why? Because if you go back, the reason why we have introduced STT, because we said, LTCG is zero. Now you basically charge LTCG and still keep STT, which is unfair. If market keeps going down, I think FM will realize that this is not something acceptable to the market and they will do the course correction. But I agree with you, which is unwarranted to have LTCG also and STT. That relief is warranted. But anyway, you express an opinion. You have not asked my opinion, so so be it. Let's move on to the next question, Puneet. Ravindra, recent service says that over 12-month horizon, FIC India is a second least preferred stock. So does this mean that they will not enter Indian market till the end of 2000? Then there is no trigger. So, sir, what I've said, when too much pessimism is there, is a sign of hope. When there is too much optimism is there, is a sign of worry. So I think this is a sign of optimism than the sign of worry. So I would rather take it as a positive than this. In fact, I always said when too many people are too much negative about the market, that gives me hope that market will move up. When people are more bullish about the market, that gives me concern that I should be a little worried about the market. So I think it's a positive rather than the negative. Rajiv, if we know the market is going to be volatile till end of April, why not partially sell and re-enter the April? Your opinion, please. Sir, you are trying to time the perfection, which is practically not possible, sir. नहीं हुआ तो nothing can be said for surety, and someone is saying I've gone more wrong than the right. नहीं हुआ तो क्या करोगे सर आप? So don't try to time the perfection. That's why someone asked me, should I put 10 lakhs at one go? I suggested please divide into two parts. So there is nothing, and so we are all getting too much, short term in our approach. Expand the time horizon. Equity is not about 3 months and 6 months. 2 महीने में कुछ भी होना. अरे सर कोविड में आपने बेच नहीं दिया होता, मार्केट वॉज डाउन बाय 30-40%. क्या हुआ? And then expand horizon, the things looks really different. So don't get too much too myopic in our view and observation. Have patience. Indian market will do well. So re-enter April में करना, अभी बेचना, I don't think no one. No, it was so easy. Some of the big investors which are talking about, which got published in ET, that study, they would have been got out of the market, and then you'll re-enter the market in April. Now, होता है क्या ऐसा लाइफ में पॉसिबल होता है कैसा नहीं होता है ना. So let's be practical. Enjoy the downside. There are no gain in the equity market without going through the pain. And that's what my simple advice would be. Good quality companies, please buy. Look at Mojo stock, look at stock of the month, look at stock of the week. Invest in those. Mentally be prepared that they can go down 20%. Mentally be prepared. But the moment you look at after 20% decline also, if you look at 1 year, you would have still made decent money. Despite going down by 20%, I'm not saying it will happen 20% only. But I'm just giving you the fair estimate, a fair idea about what can happen. And if that happens also, don't panic. That's what my advice would be. I know there will be more questions, but in the interest of the time, we need to conclude. Thanks a lot to everyone taking time out and attending this webinar. I do, again, just to summarize, there are two things which market will become little concerns about. And the two factors market should be watchful for. Tariff war, and second thing, which is the data today, the inflation which has come out from the Japan, does create some amount of uncertainty about the yen carry trade. Maybe in the next webinar when I come in front of you, I'll also talk about what kind of outstanding positions are there in yen carry trade. So that will also give us an idea of what's happening there. So that we'll all discuss. Till such time, good night, take care.